Interesting. Really interesting. So you're... Hey boss, are you sure I can work on this? Yeah, no, I'm confident. I mean, you've never trusted me with anything like this before, so... Okay. Hi there. You're sort of asleep right now. Probably will be for a bit, but... I want to introduce myself. My name's Lily. I'll be, working on you today. Wow. I mean, just... You're like... proper... old world tech, aren't you? That's like... nuts, honestly. Your line stopped being manufactured about 50 years before, human life on the surface kind of ceased to be. It wasn't because you weren't effective, it was because you were just so expensive to produce. It wasn't cost effective, even if you were the most capable on any battlefield. But right now, you are here. You're here, and I get to fix you. Hopefully, I get to fix you. I get to try to fix you. Okay. Let's see what we're working with here. All right. Old model. A lot that's probably different, but... Okay. Yeah. If I just, I got some tools over here. I should be able to just very gently do some undoing of these screws. That's step one. Wow. Your line of androids is genuinely... I mean, it's... I'm just really honored to get the chance to work on you, you know? I really am. So, I hope when you, wake up, you'll think I did a decent job. That's the dream at least. I think I'm not bad, I'm pretty good at this, right? And I mean, this was the CEO asked me to do this, right? The CEO, can you believe that? It's crazy. Our organization's hit kind of a rough patch recently. We used to be one of the leading manufacturers of combat units. Not like yourself. Well, I mean, not really like yourself. But, you know, with what we had, we made some of the best for the budget we were working with. But fallen behind recently, and so it's just... I don't like my boss, to be clear. I don't really vibe with her whole everything, but, you know, job's a job, and the fact is we need combat units like you to keep us alive. And, I mean, the tech is like, you're really cool. Like, oh my god, you're really, really cool. You're so incredibly cool. You know? So, you know, keep that in mind. You're awesome. And I am so happy to be working on you right now. Okay, so that should be enough for me to just kind of remove this plate over there. And now we're looking at your guts. Okay. Lock in. I gotta lock in, okay? I gotta focus up, because if I screw this up, I'm gonna be honest. You'd think, oh, I'll just be fired. I might be killed if I screw this up. Like this, it's that important, you know? So, let me just take a look at what is going on in here. Oh my god. You're so cool. A little bit messed up in there, but that's fine. Our lab techs have already established neural setup fully intact. All your programming, all your knowledge, memories, everything, they should all still be in that noggin of yours. So, I just have to get that brain of yours some power. And that's easy. I could, hell, you know, if it came down to it, I could just take it out, put it on a different frame, you know? But, well, prefer to avoid that, because, again, boss. Okay, so, what do I have to do? How do I make this work? First off, your core seems a little bit, we're gonna have to replace that. That's probably not what the boss will want to hear. You know, supposedly your model had super efficient cores as far as energy goes, but I mean, it's rusted, there's some kind of acid leaking out. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put on some proper gloves real quick. If I just, yeah, here we go. So, it looks like it can be decoupled by hand. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull out that core. I'm gonna clean it out, the socket, the fitting, all that. Install a new one. And then I couldn't help but notice there's, so you have a gun arm. And it seems to be fed by a belt of some kind, but that belt is also kaput. So I'm gonna see if I can do something about that too. So let's start with the core. That's the most important part. If I just, okay. Yeah, okay. This is certainly something, huh? Okay. Changing my gloves. That almost ate through. Wow. Okay, so there's some kind of super acid inside your core, and that's probably what makes you so efficient, huh? I'm gonna send that over for analysis. We'll see if we can figure out the chemical composition. I just nearly lost a hand. Okay. We're gonna move quick. Okay? Okay. I don't know why I'm talking to you. It makes me feel better, I think. Let me just, new pair of gloves. And then, okay. Ready? I'm ready. I'm not ready. I'm scared. Okay. And, okay. Latch 1. Latch 2. Latch 3. And bam. Okay. That's set aside. We're good. We're green. A+ across the board. Okay. Taking off these gloves now because they're still covered in acid. There we go. All right. So, what's next? Simple. New core going in to you. Nice and easy, right? Nice and easy. So I'm just gonna grab this new core real quick. And okay. That's a little unfortunate. So, the company that made you, apparently like our parent company, like, it got broken up into a bunch of parts, and ours survived and became the new tech giant in what's left of the world. And so I was hoping the socket would be compatible with one of our standard issues. Okay, I can maybe... I could hook it up, but I don't know how long it'd last yet. Well, I think a few minutes of consciousness would probably be something, right? It's a start, and we can go from there. Maybe I can gather some data from you. Maybe you can send me your specs or user manual or something. Okay, so if I just... Yeah, I'm gonna have to force the connection. That's fine. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Cool. I'm going to not power you up yet, actually. I don't want to have my hands inside you while you're... I feel like I'd die. The acid has me scared. I feel like I would die. So I'm going to take care of the whole belt situation, and then... Yeah, so what I'm going to do is if I just stick this funny little tool in here. It's a funny little crank-operated gizmo, you see. I love my little gizmo. I don't know what that voice is. I don't know why I'm doing it. But I have this little gizmo. I'm going to crank it. I want to crank the gizmo, and it's going to rip the chain and pull out the belt. And then I can just put on a new one. And it should work fine. So if I just... There we go. Tension. And... Wildly unsafe if you're not experienced with the gizmo, I gotta say. No one else uses the gizmo. I made the gizmo. It's my gizmo. And... There we go. And now we just keep, you know, cranking the gizmo, pull out the chain, and we ignore the fact that a length of the chain sort of kind of whipped a little bit. Could have tagged me if I wasn't the master of the gizmo. I don't even know I made this thing. I just like it. I like to live on the edge, you know. I'm pretty cool like that. I'm pretty cool. You know, it's no biggie. Okay, and there we go. There we go. Job done. Job literally done. Now, check this out. You're still asleep, but check this out. I got the reverse gizmo. I got the reverse gizmo. Do you know what the reverse gizmo does? Well, you crank it. You crank the reverse gizmo. And it feeds a chain on. And it links it up. And then suddenly, you have a new belt. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, you know, I'm something of a scientist myself. I'm literally a scientist. Yeah, that's an old movie. That's an old movie. I found it, like, ages ago, right? We had a bin of salvage come in. I'm just gonna start cranking the thing while I had a bin of salvage. I was like, what's all this? I found, it's called a DVD player. It's gotta be at least 200 years old, but somehow still intact, still working. And I found a couple DVDs that also worked. Archived them, you know, uploaded them to my silly little computer. Made them publicly available, but nobody ever watches them. But, you know, I think they're pretty cool. So, there we go. Anyways, yeah, I'm literally a scientist. This is my job. Okay. And there we go. Awesome. Cool. Great. You should be ready to go live. Let me just... yeah, I'll just pull out my little data pad here. And let's try and run a basic startup sequence. We'll see if we're at least compatible in terms of software. And... okay. You're awake. Hi. Hello. Introducing myself. Hi, I'm Lily. I just fixed you and that was it. That was all the power. Okay. Well, we'll figure that out.